Now let's see what happened in this. Referee Roberts telling the players to get out of the way while he moves in to say a few words. Williams went a bit high, and there'll probably be a penalty to Balmain. Thanks to Lee Crooks with Davy Spillane down there. Balmain very nearly scoring before that scrum. Pass knocked down.
Certainly was. Once again, we saw the halfback Scott Gale is causing the Western Suburbs defence a lot of problems.
Gary Jack being called up for a caution here. They're holding up the passes nicely.
And there's a fight.
It's Conlon giving the ball to Sirinen. Back in the middle. We've got some action with Elias getting stuck into it with Bilberger. Bit of a Balmain reunion over there. Scott
Burgess, he's away from him, he's away from another. He stands in a third. Can he unload? He can't. And I said, oh! Chris Houghton not liking what he saw. That's silly of him, really. There was the right from Walsh on Alexander's cheek or chin.
Saying will be the telling factor for them, but they're a good side. They always have had good sides, and they're going to be there when the, at the end of the season when the big games are on. I don't think there's much doubt about that. Chen, you'll see it later on tape, and
you'll hear it now.
You know, I mean,
pretty spectacular stuff.
Well, Des is like a jack in the box, so when you start jumping left to right, and you've got.
Oh, Bogdan. Picked up and driven into the ground by Hasler, and that's hurt him. Langmax saying to Hasler, what'd you do that for? Potter. Whoops-a-daisy.
South Sydney, of course, now join, as a result of this win, joined Manly on 18 points. And it's going to be a game that will be yesterday, and he's going to come along and have a bit of a chat about those two games. And an out-of-character performance here from Gary Jack, the Australian fullback, getting himself involved in biffo. I don't like to see fullbacks. I'd rather see front row forwards or second row forwards get involved if they must in that sort of thing. But he's an astonishing performance by Balmain. The last month they've gone right off the boil. The last 2 weeks they've gone frightfully. I'll come back to that incident on a separate in just a few moments because I want to give a little bit of advice to the player in question. Three of them. Another incident I wanted to show you was the Brooks-Batiste biffo, I've classified it. Now, Brooksy, when you're carrying the football, don't throw a punch like that at Batiste and drop the ball if you are being manhandled because you can't fight with one hand. Now, that's just dumb, standing there and copying them from somebody who's big and strong in front of you. he's going to give you a nice old workout one-handed. So do drop the ball in those situations, or best of all, don't throw it in the first place. Clincher. And Eastern Suburbs are a side that, well, they're nobody's bunnies. They've got some good players in it, and they're difficult to beat. And a little bit of stupidity.
Running through the Origin players. Here's Gary with the ball now. Oh, Dave Brown letting a couple go. Well, the touch judge has gone in, and so he should. Have a look at it again. Bingo. Hastings. Oh, Melrose without the ball. Well, that looked like a high tackle on a man not in possession. The penalty's gone to East, but I don't think. Look at it, there it is again. I don't think the penalty.
Mortimer, Hagan. Oops. The last taken. Stone indicated immediately that he saw it across the chest. Now he's calling timeout. The man on the end of it was John Elias. It looked to me like it got him flush across the chin.
Mick Stone was probably entitled to say, what was it doing there anyhow?
Campbell to play it.
Well, this was always going to erupt, and I'm sure Graham Hughes will be able to give us an worm's eye view, because this has continued on in the scrum after it's been won.
So half the players are playing the football, the other half are involved in
the eruption that followed the scrum. Let's take a sideline comment from Graham.
Well, this is what I thought was going to blow up earlier on in the first half. It's been simmering, and a lot of frustration now with that scoreline of 26-0 in favour of Balmain. But once again, it's the front row combination, Ben Elias and Mark Bugden this time, that were having their own little private war in back players. I think we had 1 or 2 play the balls, and they just kept at it.
Graham, how much does this go back to the incident earlier in the match when Hemsley, or a lot of the Canterbury players, thought Hemsley had hit one of them with a high tackle?
Well, Bill, it went back well before that, even the first 2 or 3 scrums of the day. Both packs of front rows split up, and there's plenty of words.
Benny Elias. Oh, Mark Bugden set him up. Robinson came in over the back, and the Elias-Bugden thing continues. The fuses have blown, ladies and gentlemen. And Benny Elias is still on the ground. Well, Bugden had Elias in his sights as Elias came through. He had one cocked and he let it go. There it goes. It was legitimate. As it came up on the head-on, it was a ball-swallowing tackle, if you like. But then, of course, the venom that has gone on between the two erupted again. Graham, you were sitting right smack bang on top of it. In fact, you might have felt the wind off it.
Well, we've been talking about it. We keep on repeating. It's been coming since the first half when these two were at it in the first few scrums. Mark Bugden could find himself certainly in the sin bin here. My mind, I did start to wander and follow a couple of the other players. I was watching Mike Perry, who certainly didn't want to have anything to do with Jeff Robinson, and Gary Bridge and Steve Mortimer looked set to go to it. Then I came back and Bugden was letting them fly from everywhere. Both players.
10 minutes in the sin bin for both of them, is it? And they're still sledging as they come from the field of play.